See if we can get a couple other people around here. Yes, they don't want to see that. All right, so thank you guys for taking a couple of minutes to come check out the BostiSet, which is a gauge porcelain tile adhesive. So when we talk about gauge porcelain tile, it is a type of tile that's made with a newer manufacturing process that reduces the amount of strain that's put into the tile during the firing and pressing process. So it ends up being a product that has a lot of density to it, a lot of flexibility to it, a lot of impact resistance. It's really essentially the next in terms of tile. If you haven't seen this, you're going to see a lot of different types of porcelain tile panels, gauge porcelain tile panels, or porcelain slabs in some cases throughout the show. You'll see them in sizes, like what we're showing today is a 1 meter by 1 meter or 3 foot 3 inch by 3 foot 3 inch. You'll see 5 foot by 10 foot tiles at the show. You may even see larger ones than that. So this is a more unique thing, newer item into the industry. It's been an element of a lot of investment for the tile business, and it's something that's really caught steam in the past couple of years and allowed people to put tile in more places, faster, better designs, unique applications. So this has really been something to take a look into. The product that we have that helps this process is called BostiSet. So that's the adhesive that you're seeing here. It's a gauge porcelain tile adhesive, and it has a black crumb rubber in it. So the black crumb rubber is a thickness control spacer. So it gives you with this type of adhesive, it's highly fluid and flowable, which means that if you were to compress a tile with this, without this type of crumb rubber, you could squish the adhesive out of the sides of the tile and over embed the product. So this crumb rubber gives you an even mill thickness when you embed the tile, gives you great coverage on the back of the panel, and allows you to have a lot of additional features and benefits aside from just the coverage generation. The type of product that we use, this BostiSet, has a sound reduction built into it. So it's got a impact isolation class and sound transmission class rating to it that helps in terms of multifamily properties and hotel applications, and even in residential applications where you'll see people desiring to have better sound reduction in their spaces. So one of the benefits to the BostiSet is that when working with the gauge porcelain tile, you've got to take your adhesive, normally a traditional cement tile mortar, and comb it onto the back of the tile, then onto the substrate like what you see here. You've got to comb it onto both surfaces. When you comb onto both surfaces, you're essentially doing, I would say, double the work on the application of adhesive. So you see the way that John's combing the adhesive out. If he was working with a traditional mortar, he'd have to comb onto the wall as well. With this product, it's a single coat, single application. You can apply it to the back of the panel the way that he's done here. So you can see it's on top of a couple of sawhorses. There's also a variety of tables available from the industry that allow you to have a very flat surface to work off of. And then he's also on top of a couple of suction cups that'll give a rigidity to the panel as he's doing the installation and moving and maneuvering the panel. So the fact that this is a single coat application product reduces your overall troweling time significantly. One of the other places where this is going to help reduce time is the fact that it's pre-mixed. So this has no added water, no added liquids, just open the pail, scoop, and apply. That's also going to give you a whole lot better ability to stage job sites. So you can put the panels exactly where you need them to be, you can put the pails exactly where you need them to be, and you don't have to go source water or electricity to be able to mix and apply. That comes into place pretty significantly in a lot of commercial applications. So this is one of the areas where this has been highly successful, is expediting commercial applications of gauge porcelain tile. So you can imagine how significant the gain would be when you're talking about working with a 5 foot by 10 foot panel. It gets more and more important to use a product like this with the larger size material that you get to. Another unique, cool part of this product is that it cures through a moisture reactivity. So traditional cement mortars cure through evaporation, hydration, and absorption. So the water leaves the cement mortar system and absorbs into its surfaces, evaporates out of the surfaces. In tiles, it's through the grout joints, and then it actually has hydration properties to it as well. This particular product is moisture reactive. So it reacts with atmospheric moisture to be able to cure. That's going to give you the ability to cure no matter what size tile they make. So when you think of a 5 foot by 10 foot tile, it's certainly a massive tile, and traditional cement-based mortars are going to have trouble curing out behind them, whereas this particular product has that ability to cure based on the atmospheric moisture. So it's around a 24-hour cure time. If you're in an extremely dry environment, say Las Vegas desert, it's going to take a little bit longer to be able to cure. To be able to standardize that, you can dampen the wall surface if you're in an extremely dry environment to help induce moisture to induce that cure as well. So one of the things that you'll see about the way that John combed the material onto this panel is that he combed it all in the same exact direction. And if this were not a square panel, if this were rectangular, and say the panel came back a couple more feet, he would have combed all of the adhesive in the same direction with the short edge of the tile. So as opposed to going long ways, he would have combed it short ways. In that short form, it allows better air evacuation and better coverage for the overall installation. So, John, if you want, let's go ahead and pick this one up and put it on the wall.
Okay.
All right.
Now, did you point out the sound control qualities of the product as well?
I pointed out a little bit about the sound transmission. So that's one of the big features that we see with tile and in commercial spaces is sound reduction and the desire to not just design with pretty tiles and design-oriented tiles, but also to design with sound considered as well. So the little sample that is going to go around the room shows the adhesive over top of a cement backer board with a gauge porcelain tile panel, so a small cutaway, and then a small plexiglass cutaway as well to be able to show how well the coverage happens with this type of adhesive in comparison to a traditional mortar. That, you can see the crumb rubber through that glass window on these samples as well. And that gives you an example of how even the coating is and how that thickness control spacer works so that you don't over embed the adhesive. Another big benefit to working with the BostiSet is that you have a long period of time that is considered open time, and that's the amount of time from where you comb the adhesive out until you have to embed that particular tile. This is one of the weak points of mortar. A traditional tile mortar, when working in these environments, is going to skin over in 10 to 15 minutes, and somebody has to comb both the tile and the wall before making the application. So that 10 to 15 minutes on larger format tiles is not a lot of time. It goes by very quickly, and it's actually one of those areas where the industry kind of identifies as a risk point because you can't afford to not have mortar embedded for a large panel like this. This particular product will have an open time and adjustability time that's well north of 30 minutes. So it's essentially going to be moisture reactive in higher humidity environments. It's going to cure out and tack over a little bit faster. In low humidity environments, you'll see it stretch out north of an hour in terms of overall tack time. So as long as you still have transfer, where you can touch the adhesive and still have the adhesive make transfer onto whatever you touch, you know that you're still not tacked over. You still have the ability to go ahead and bond. So with that, we'll go ahead and double check our suction cups. That's an important first step when working with the gauge porcelain tile panels. Let's go. And then with this type of material, you can bring it to where you want to and make your application. And then you also have a tremendous amount of adjustability. So with a traditional mortar, once you place the tile itself, you don't have really any adjustability to it. You place it, you've got maybe a couple of millimeters in terms of adjustment. With this type of adhesive, you have the ability to move the material up or down and really place it exactly where you need it. Once you get the panel set where you want it, you embed it with a beading paddle like what John's got here and remove the suction cups and fully embed the panel by working throughout the different elements of the panel.
As Adam pointed out, when you comb out the adhesive, you want to go perpendicular to the wall and make sure that you leave the channels open within the adhesive. And the reason for that is when we go into the bead in with the bead in paddle, what we're doing is we're pushing the air out behind. So we make sure we get really good coverage and so forth. So when you take the bead-in paddle, you always want to start in the center of the panel, hold the bead-in paddle slightly to the edge, and then smack it forward, if you will. Now, once you hit it with the bead-in paddle, then you can no longer adjust the panel. So make sure you have your panels at the location that you desire prior to using the bead-in panel. Now, once I've tapped it in place a couple times, at this point, what I could do is take the suction cups off. And then at this point, what I want to do is bead in the paddle, the entire panel. So once again, I would start in the center of the panel, push down, and then work my way out to the side. Same thing, center to the side, center to the side. And once again, by doing this, we are pushing the air out to the side.
So that's an overview of how to work with this type of material. The industry has full classes available from the National Tile Contractors Association, many different manufacturers. BostiSet offers training at 3 different training facilities across the U.S. That is a comprehensive, essentially day-and-a-half course on fully working with gauge porcelain tile panels, because these are a newer type of product to the industry. There's some education that goes with them. It's not necessarily just a grab and go type of thing when you're working with a 5-foot by 10-foot panel. It's not just picking it up and throwing it into the back of a truck and going out to do an installation. So there's definitely comprehensive training available. So get in touch with manufacturers of both the panels as well as BostiSet for further information. You'll see that during this process, we got a little bit of the adhesive on the face of the tile. This is one of the more unique parts, and this was something that we spent a lot of time engineering in this product, was easy cleanability. We could make this product and stick to anything, but it can also make it difficult to design something that is easy clean and removable as well. So you can see these couple of different adhesive spots with a dry rag. They can be buffed right off of the face of the tile. If it cures on the face of the tile, then they can be scraped away with a plastic putty knife or, again, a paper rag. So easy to clean, pretty easy to work with. It really expedites the overall installation time that you'll see with gauge porcelain tile panels. Since they've been in the industry, they've been known as a slower product to work with overall, and this particular tile adhesive helps to expedite that. We've seen projects be faster by anywhere from 25 to somewhere in the realm of 60% faster by working with this type of material or this type of adhesive. You'll find that there's a lot of benefits to working with this particular type of tile and the adhesive. So, yes. It's a good point. So I mentioned that this product is moisture reactive. If you take a wet rag instead of a dry rag to try to buff it off the face, the moisture from the rag causes the adhesive to cure. So you're not going to find that a damp rag or a wet sponge is going to help in terms of cleanup. So stick with the dry cleanup process, and then if it does cure, you have the same process to be able to remove. So.
And one thing that I'd like to add in closing is that the use of this type system is basically, you don't need any water, you don't need any electricity. The ANSI specification for thin gauge porcelain tile when using a mortar requires you to apply it on the substrate as well as the back of the panel, right? A bag of thin set weighs 50 pounds, so generally it takes about a bag and a half to do one large panel. So by using BostiSet, the labor is dramatically increased due to setup, work, delivering the product to the site and so forth. And once again, no dust, no water needed, no electricity. And as Adam pointed out, basically it almost doubles your installation, where you could probably do 4 to 5 of these larger panels in an hour. Typically with a thin set or a mortar, you're doing two to 3. So significant cost savings, and the majority of that savings is coming from the labor. Okay.
All right. So does anybody have any questions? All right, well, we enjoyed having you all as the audience. Thank you very much for taking the time to spend some time with us. And our booth is 4428, so right back around here if anybody wants to stop by and see the rest that Bostik has to offer.
And also, please help yourself to a shirt, obviously. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.